Everybody, we are back. It is Taped on Live's favorite, it's podcast favorite, it's channel favorite, it's everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course, pandasubs.com. Discount code TDL for 35% off. All right, so we are doing our Ravens film review today. Checking out the game, the surprise win from the Raiders, 26-23 over the Baltimore Ravens. Definitely caught me and Matt off guard. Like I said, it was nice that we didn't put that preview out because fans would have been trashing it. Sure, they would have coming after us. So, but definitely a pleasant surprise, and we were definitely happy about the win and the Raiders. Showing what they really can do as a team if they come together and pull out a big one on the road. So that was a crazy game. So we're going to be going over offense and defense, of course. Matt's going to be doing Jakorian Bennett today. And I'm going to be doing Zamir White and the running game a little bit. And what the hell happened? Why did Gardner Minshew get good all of a sudden? So that's what we're going to be doing today. So
go ahead. I was just gonna say I saw Minshew was asked about what Crosby said to him. Crosby said, "We need Washington State Minshew." Like 6 years, like I got you. I'm like, that must have been it, man. He must have been back in Pullman at the mustache mania going. Mike Leach looking down on him and started standing around the yard, man. I don't know.
I'm sorry, that's hilarious, bro. He's like, I need that Washington State Minshew, bro. Like, where's the Washington State guy? Where's that guy at? That might change this whole season, man. He might be like, well, you're right, man. You're right. Where's Washington State Minshew? Because we can't run the ball, so we need that. Right?
Run the ball like my Mike Leach offense.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, dude. So we're gonna be going over, of course, offense and defense. So, Matt, what were your thoughts on the defense overall from the film?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a little bit disappointing from what I was kind of expecting. A little bit, just not quite as many, or not quite as good as I would have thought. Not to say that it was bad per se or anything like that, but like the defensive line outside of Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins had a few good reps, but definitely wasn't as dominant as he was in that week one. And had a few struggles here and there, but like the rest of the D line was kind of underwhelming. John Jenkins had a little bit of trouble with Tyler Linderbaum. I know Linderbaum's not the biggest dude in the world, but he is pretty quick, and especially on a lot of those like outside zone runs and stuff like that, and even some of the inside zones, like he was getting around them and using his strength, which seemed to give Jenkins a little bit of problem and getting good positioning on him. And then it did kind of confirm what I had talked about in the instant reaction show, where once the Ravens figured out that they could just run at Charles Snowden and Denarius Robinson, that's what they started having a little bit of success in the ground in that second half with a lot of those end runs, and they just kept a splitter to occupy Crosby on the backside and keep him from preventing making plays from the backside. And those two guys had a little bit tough time setting the edge. So I do think as much crap as we give a guy like Tyree Wilson, might have been able to help out in that regard. That's the one thing he is pretty good at doing at this stage. So took a little bit of advantage of the Raiders' injuries there. On the second level, I do have to give Divine Diablo a little bit more credit than I think I did on the reaction, just because he did have a few like good run fits that I thought were pretty impressive, where he wasn't necessarily making the play, but coming up and kind of showing like a little bit of what we've seen in the past from him, where like he can kind of come up and stick people and at least force some running backs to cut back inside and stuff. If you noticed on PFF, I think they had him as like the fifth highest graded player. I don't know if he was that good. I don't know if I go that far. He did still have a couple missed tackles, but he was definitely better than I thought. Definitely deserved definitely was above average in that game for sure. I will say Spillane had a great game against the run. I think that was obvious.
Yeah.
Ravens definitely picked on him a little bit in coverage. They used his aggressiveness against him a little bit, like with a few play action passes. The one you probably even saw on the broadcast, the one touchdown, I think it was to Zay Flowers. They did like a fake toss, and he hit really hard, and they threw it right over his head for that touchdown to open up that window. And if you remember, like the play where I think it was the one where Lamar like was scrambled and like threw across his body. They got the matchup they wanted with Spillane on Zay Flowers and with the Raiders in zone coverage, but Spillane didn't exactly help himself out when Lamar started scrambling. He kind of just completely forgot about Zay Flowers and was like 10 yards away from the ball and like stopped in the middle of the field. And that's how he got so wide open. Again, I don't think he's going to win that matchup anyway, but he just kind of got caught in no man's land. But again, had a really good game against the run. That was for sure. He stuck Derrick Henry on that one and beat I think it was like maybe even a puller or a guard or something like that. That was a lot of fun to watch. You don't see a lot of guys do that to Henry. And then go over a little bit more on the back end, but safety wise, thought Trevon Merrick, another guy who didn't really show up on the broadcast, but had a better game than expected on tape. We'll see one of these clips. Marcus call it out if I forget to mention it, but he had one pass rush where he blitzed and I don't even think the guard touched him. It was a dirty move. It was pretty nice. And they was a little bit better against the run. Epps for me right now is getting really frustrating because there are spots where like he's in the right position and he's like doing what he needs to do. And then he just keeps missing tackles. And it's like the same way over and over again, where he just kind of keeps over pursuing. Now, granted, going against a guy like Lamar is it's tough because he makes a lot of people miss, but Epps is up to like 6 missed tackles on the year, which is the most of like any defender, I think, in the league right now, heading into the week 3. So kind of got to clean that up, especially at safety. And then on the corners on the back end, Jack Jones had a decent game again, had that big pass breakup that helped make sure that the Ravens couldn't get into field goal position at the end. Diving into Jakorian Bennett again, I think he's played well. We're gonna see like a few of his clips from the season opener too, but he was another guy that was like PFF grade was a little bit surprising, and we'll see a few examples of why. There were a couple times where he got beat and he just didn't get targeted.
Yeah,
but for the most part, he's definitely been more good than bad, but still a little bit of area improvement. So we'll get a little bit of both ends of the spectrum there with him. But yeah, and again, another guy who's got really impressive ball skills and has been stepping up and doing a lot of things, or showing a lot of growth from last season so far too. So overall, it was a solid game, just not quite as good as I would have hoped from the defense.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, because I checked the defensive film before I went on the radio, and you're right, man. That they missed Malcolm Kuntz and Tyree Wilson. And that's a big factor there. I mean, I saw Chason come in there a couple times. Didn't really do anything.
Dude,
yeah,
he had one rep where like I mean, you think Tyree Wilson's get off his bench? I was like, good God, man! I could time you with a calendar.
Yeah, so he wasn't it either. So he's not a fix. Snowden, he's Charles Snowden. It's hard for me to get on it because he's Charles Snowden. You really don't expect him to be playing that much, really. Since he was like a fringe preseason guy, and he's out there, playing a lot of downs. You know what I mean? He's out there a lot, and Jakorian Bennett was a little disappointing this week too. I believe so. Because I mean, without Malcolm Kuntz and Tyree Wilson, I feel like they can focus on Wilkinson, Crosby, and then Adam Butler. Yeah, he's going to get his, but teams are like, okay, if Adam Butler sacks us 4 times, that's fine. I think that's what teams are doing right now, because I swear the center went right every single time this game. I don't know if right? He didn't. Yeah.
Well, especially because they have a lot of. I mean, I guess they're replacing their left guard too, but the right side is like it's a new right guard, and then I don't think Rosengarten played at all this game, but is it Arcade or whatever? But whatever. Like whoever's playing right tackle is a new starter for him too, and I think in the past been a backup for him. So yeah, they weren't messing around. They were definitely going to slide the protection right as much as they could, especially with Crosby and Wilkins on that side.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, dude. So I throw the offense, and of course, the running game is a problem, but it's a little bit of a mixture of run blocking and I think them not using Zamir White clearly, which I'm gonna go over today a little bit. Some of his runs, because it was funny. Like at the end, the last drive for the field goal, he had like 2 good runs on that drive. They're both power runs. They went pure power that drive. Of course, it makes sense. And so he's missing some things, and he's just not seeing it like he should. He's running it like a power run. Like he just, there's the cutback, there's the read, and there's the bounce, right?
Yeah.
He's just going straight read. It doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter what's happening there. It's just straight read, right? And that's cool and all, but this is zone. This isn't like power. So that's an issue. I thought the offensive line wasn't getting a lot of push regardless anyways, even if they weren't losing. So they're not getting a lot of push still. But there, Mumford was awful. I had him with 7 blown blocks total. So that's 4 in the run game, 3 in pass protection.
Damn.
So he was just bad. He was just awful. I don't know what was wrong with him, but he was getting destroyed by Kyle Van Noy. It was funny. He was good against Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, but here comes Kyle Van Noy. And just was just beating him down. I don't know, maybe because Bosa and Mack are more power guys than speed, and Van Noy's pure speed. He was just going right by him. Everything just right by him, right? And that's always been his issue, right? Is going against speed rush, and we talked about that in the summer. And Kyle Van Noy was like, "I'm a speed rusher. I'm not gonna try to go through you. I'm gonna try to go around you," and he was going around him. And that was the issue with Thayer Mumford, and we still saw that. So kind of saw week 1, he went and get some power rushers, did pretty well. Week 2, he went to get some pure speed rusher. That's old. He's not even young. And he was getting demolished out there, man. It was pretty bad to watch for him. But everybody else is pretty clean, man. Parham is looks like he's legit. You know, Dave Ziegler looks very smart right now drafting Dylan Parham, but they don't look smart putting him at left guard, though. I'll say that. They look smart drafting him, but not pulling him at left guard. And then Gardner Minshew, you know, Minshew was a tale of two halves, man. He talked about the Max Crosby quote. Now that I think about it, I think that's hilarious, just because it like matches what happened in the film. Because it's just in the second half, he's just a totally different player, you know. Especially in the fourth quarter. I think third quarter was still like a little bit of Minshew, missed a couple things. I thought Getsy was really creative this game, getting one-on-ones for Bowers and Adams, and not allowing them to double team Adams because they kept moving him inside a lot of motions. They had some plays like the play where he had the drop on the touchdown. They did a play where they had him and Myers lined up, and then right before the snap, they moved Myers outside, so it kind of messed up their coverages. And then that gave Adams that one-on-one. You couldn't double team him at that point. So Getsy was doing a lot of cool stuff like that to get Bowers and Adams to be preventing from one-on-ones. Getting them one-on-ones, preventing double teams. So, shouts out to Luke Getsy. He gets a lot of shit from Raiders fans, but I thought he did a great job this week. I mean, I had him doing pre-snap motion like 43% of the snaps. It was crazy. So I don't know if that's something I've ever seen from the Raiders. Like, even with John Gruden, I've never seen this much pre-snap motion. I felt like I was watching Mike McDaniel a little bit, because that's what Mike McDaniel does. He's more like 60, but I guess Kyle Shanahan's more than 43. But it's still a lot. It was a lot of pre-snap motion, and they were trying to find ways to get those guys open. And they're using it in the run game a lot too, but it didn't really help the run game. They're trying to do misdirections, and it didn't help though. But they tried their best to do that. But yeah, it was, I think Luke Getsy could call a passing game. I really think he can. It's gonna be on Gardner Minshew just to hit the reads when they're open, and it's kind of like Justin Fields, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I do have to say I love the guy, but I gotta kind of blame Dame Lillard for the Luke Getsy hate. I don't know if you saw his tweet like mid games. Like I think we see why Justin Fields suck. I'm like, Justin Fields hasn't been great in Pittsburgh either, but and then I mean, he's the ringleader. I give it. Love me some Dame time, but yeah,
he's the ringleader over there. Huh? That makes sense, because it's just he's gonna get the knock because of Fields. Fields is everybody's favorite quarterback, so he's gonna get that knock just because of that. But I don't think it really matches how he calls plays. I think if you have a quarterback that can throw the ball, we'll be all right, man. We'll be all right out there if you have a quarterback who could throw the ball. Because if you don't, that's the issue. I mean, you're gonna have a guy who's kind of just missing some of these reads, and I'm gonna show some of it. There are just some huge misses in the first half, and and even I think because he's only under pressure. I had him under pressure 10 times. I think it matched up with PFF, but it still was, some of those pressures were on him. So I mean, it's weird. It's weird. The offensive line and pass protection was actually better than I thought, 25%, but he was 45% sack to pressure ratio. So it's just when he got pressured, he got sacked. So
that's too much. Yeah. I think it's like I saw it on PFF, so I'm curious if it matched up with yours charting. Like Colton Miller, like you looked at it, you saw him give up 3 sacks. And it looks like he had a bad game, but those are literally the only 3 pressures he gave up, which is not exactly which is almost as much of an indictment on the quarterback as it is the offensive lineman at that point. Because clearly something's got to change. Whether either you're getting rid of the ball, or you're running into it, or whatnot. But curious to see what it looks like.
Yeah, it's more that he tries to run away. If he gets pressured, he thinks he can dodge it. I'm like, no, bro, you can't dodge it. You're not that athletic. You're not Lamar Jackson. You can't spin out of it, Gardner Minshew. You're not gonna outrun it. That's what he tries to do, and that's why he ends up getting sacked, because he thinks he can break those tackles. And then there might be some time this year where he does, and I'll be like, oh my god, but it wasn't this week. So,
no,
All right, so let's get into this film, man. Let's get into Jakorian Bennett, see what he's got here.
Sounds good. All right, you got me up there?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, so like I said, we're going to go over a little bit of the good and the bad with Jakorian Bennett. You guys know me. I like to start with the bad so we can end on a high note. Now, a lot of these plays I will say aren't terrible. I just kind of want to show and paint the picture of what he's been doing this year. Like this one right here, I don't fault him for giving up the completion, and I actually think he does a pretty good job here in off coverage of driving on this short curl route from Bateman, like a nice break on it. The problem is we got to make this tackle, and the issue is he keeps getting in this habit of like hurling his body at people. Like you'll see him, he's going to bring his outside foot or his right foot here, but watch his like left foot at the top of the 30. He just kind of leaves that and then ends up just leaving his feet instead of running his feet and running through Bateman. And I think that's probably his biggest issue, at least tackling wise. He has missed a few this year. This game, I don't have it on here, but it's actually kind of funny. He went to go tackle Lamar and basically just kind of like threw his body at him, similar to this one. Best way I can compare it or describe it is if you've seen that gif of Ralph Wiggum from the Simpsons, like running through the window. That's what it looked like. Pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
This next clip too. Let's see. This one. So this one's a little bit more of an isolated issue, I think, to me. But if you watch like here, I know he's playing in this side saddle technique, which has become more and more popular, and it's man coverage. But I'd like to see him do a little bit better job of keeping his hips square, or keeping his hips a little more square. Like if you see and compare him to Jack Jones here at the bottom of the screen, where Jones is playing that similar technique, but he's at least got his hips somewhat pointed to the receiver, whereas Jakorian's kind of already opened up the gate here and like parallel or perpendicular with the wide receiver's pane. And then on top of it too, kind of turns and runs. So what that does is it makes it harder to sit and drive on the route like we saw earlier. So he just kind of opens up, and like you can see, like he's not being able to like really get it out of his cut. It's super rounded. Now, again, doesn't get targeted here, so no harm, no foul. But I'm also kind of sitting here, if I'm coaching up the Ravens or doing a Ravens breakdown, I'm wondering Lamar. I mean, I think he's looking at it. It looks like he's where his eyes are. I don't know why he didn't let this rip. And I mean, that's going to be a first down. So again, look at Jakorian Bennett's PFF grade, and you're wondering why it might be lower. A rep like that's going to be similar, or it's going to be part of the reason why. And we'll see something similar later. This next clip is honestly the least concerning to me. I think this one is with the Raiders playing cover one, and they bring the house. So he's going to get a dig route here from Bateman. Now, again, I'm not harping on him too much for this one. This one, they kind of just get beat by the play call because there's no help underneath and no linebackers, to tighten up that window. And he's right here to force Bateman inside into his help as a safety, because we have the post safety. So again, maybe you can say you can undercut this route and maybe get a PBU or something like that. But again, I'm not going to harp on him too much on this one. This is a tough cover for a corner out on an island like that. So not the worst thing in the world. Kind of got to tip your cap on that one. This is going to get into my biggest concern with Bennett, or my biggest area of improvement for him moving on to the season. When he plays an off coverage, sometimes he can struggle with his leverage. Like this one, he does all right, but one of the issues he had last year that we saw over the summer was he loves biting on these double moves. You can see that happen here. Again, another rep where if he does get targeted, this might be a touchdown, because if Lamar throws it right about now and puts it on like the 10-yard line here, that's probably going to be a touchdown. I know he's got good makeup speed, but that's going to be hard to beat when you bite that hard and have to speed turn like that. So again, another rep where it doesn't necessarily show up because he doesn't get targeted, but can explain why he didn't get the PFF grade that you might have been hoped, or you might have been looking for. This one to me was pretty concerning, because if you notice, like he kind of got Bateman stacked up on him. And when I actually first watched this, I thought Bateman like stemmed him inside and he just didn't move. But if you actually watch, he's actually going to kind of screw himself on this rep because he's going to start here with good leverage. The Raiders are running, I believe this is cover 0 because the safety's going to go pick up the tight end here. So he's got no help. And he's right to play this with outside leverage, at least initially, because that way he can force the receiver. If the receiver runs a dig route, he can force him to go through his chest. And he's kind of making the receiver declare where he's going. And then if the receiver runs an out like he's going to do here, he can be able to undercut it or force him towards the sideline and force Lamar into that tough throw. But instead, like if you watch, like again, started here well on top or with a little bit of room on top of the numbers. And he kind of covers himself up where he works inside. And at this point, now he's completely on top of the numbers. And he's given Rashad Bateman a two-way go. And that makes his job a lot harder. And again, he kind of did this to himself a little bit. I'd like to see him trust his leverage and just stay outside. And again, if Bateman's going to run that dig route like we saw earlier, make him run through your chest. And then that way, too, you know he has to go outside and you can make a play on that out route. Instead, kind of get stacked up here. We'll see here, too, maybe falls for a little bit of that head fake, that inside fake to the outside. And it's a fairly easy throw or a fairly open throw to go pick up 20 yards. See it here from the end zone view. Again, just giving up a little bit of too much room on this one. Obviously, going back to the season open here, we're going to see a similar one or similar issue where the Chargers are going to run double China. So we got the corner from the inside slot receiver, Lad McConkey here, and then double ends or the double short ends, whatever you want to call them, China route, all the same thing. And if you watch, McConkey's going to do a good job at the top of the route of getting a square on Bennett. Like right here, like he can go inside. He can go inside on like a post or a dig, or he can break it outside and go to the corner. And I think part of that too is Bennett not playing with enough leverage. And if you look here, he kind of gets caught flat-footed too. Also doesn't hit with his hands. McConkey has a nice little hand swipe here to get open. Causes Bennett to stumble out of the break a little bit. And for whatever reason, McConkey decides to go to the sideline instead of the back pylon. So Bennett gets a little lucky where that should have been a touchdown. So again, just kind of a little bit of a leverage issue when playing off coverage with him right now. Probably his biggest area of improvement, but that can come with time. Not too terribly concerned with it. It's just little things at this point. Now this one, moving on to the good reps from Jakorian Bennett. I was pretty excited about this play just because I think it was pretty heady. First and foremost, like you can see him initially go to drive on this little flat route, but then he kind of recognizes the play design and stays deep, doesn't take the cheese. If they're going to throw that check down, fine, we'll go rally and tackle, especially on first down. Now, maybe I'm giving a little too much credit here, but it does look like here, like once Lamar starts to scramble, he gets his eyes and starts opening up towards his man, which is Aguilar, and sees Aguilar step out of bounds and then knows at this point, like, hey, he can't catch the ball. It'll be a penalty. So let me go rally to the best running quarterback in the league and limit his scramble. And then on top of it, too, ends up forcing the throw. Aguilar recognizes that he can't catch it either, and we end up getting a completion. So, yeah, again, maybe I'm giving Bennett a little bit too much credit there, but I thought that was a pretty smart play for him. All right, these last 3 reps here, these are some of the best reps I've seen from him really since he joined the team. And one thing that I really like to see the Raiders do with him more is, again, I showed you the issues with him in press man, or with him in off coverage, excuse me, where he's really at his best is in press man. And you'll see on this rep too, like his patience at the line of scrimmage is perfect. Like if you watch, he's going to wait to open up his hips till Quentin Johnston ends up or fully commits to the outside release, turns and runs. I like to, like right about here, gets his left arm involved to help squeeze and make some contact with the receiver and squeeze that receiver towards the sideline so that even if he doesn't get the PBU here, which again, he has really good ball skills and rakes hands at the catch point really well. But even if he doesn't get the PBU, he's done a great job of forcing the receiver wide that he gave Justin Herbert no room to complete that pass, even if he's not able to get the PBU on that rep. Like we'll see it here from the end zone, like both of Johnson's feet are going to land out of bounds, right here. Like, I mean, not even close. And again, that's because he's got great technique and press man. Use his left arm here, inside arm, to force him wide. And then on top of it, too, make a nice play on the ball to make sure that catch doesn't get called. See, almost the same rep here in the Ravens game. Pretty much the same thing. And then the other thing I like that's even better about this one is you're going to see Aguilar take like a little jab step to the inside to try and get Bennett to open up his hips. But again, great patience at the line of scrimmage is going to be big for him. Just again, doesn't fall for that fake. Waits till the receiver commits. Now we're opening back up. Again, same thing with his outside arm. Does get his head around here. I feel like he felt like he was losing him a little bit. Like you can see a little bit of air there. So then he does a good job of getting his eyes back on the receiver. And same thing, play the hands at the catch point, get to PBU. Send it up. I think this was 3rd and long. This would have set up, and this set up the field goal that the Ravens missed, which in a 3-point game ended up being huge, obviously. So again, another nice rep. Really like him in press man coverage, especially against these go routes. He's been really impressive so far. Get a good view of the PBU here.
That's a great.
I think this actually might have hit him in the back of the head, which is kind of funny. But
yeah, that's a great rep.
Okay.
I mean, maybe if you say we were like get your head around, but I mean it's fine.
Hey, as long as you're not tackling the receiver, I don't mind this. If you're looking to play the catch point, I actually kind of prefer it a little bit because I feel like turning your head, like you can miss the timing and like it's hard to do. Like it slows you down, like you saw him lose him for a second. So as long as you're staying controlled and not running through the guy, I actually kind of like this technique better. Again, because you can just play the hands or let the ball hit you in the back of the head.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah. So this is the rep that led to Spillane's pick, and this got me really fired up, even more excited than what it showed on the broadcast, because I felt like it really highlighted Jakorian Bennett's growth in his football IQ. Like you're going to see the Ravens are going to run motion, so that's going to tip that the Raiders are man coverage, because obviously Jakorian Bennett's following Zay Flowers, and you're going to see right here, him and Jack Jones are signaling to each other, communicating, hey, let's switch this, let's pass this off. So again, recognizing it and showing a little bit of smarts and recognizing the play design. So they pass that off. Then he's going to pick up Bateman as his new man, sees a short curl, drives on it pretty much instantly right after Bateman makes that break. Even before Bateman finishes the break, drives on it. Another great job of playing the hands at the catch point, gets his hands involved there, rips the ball out, and ends up getting a pick for Spillane. Like that fired me up because, again, if you remember from the summer, one of the issues with Jakorian Bennett is it looked like he was thinking too much. Game was a little too fast for him, and his football IQ wasn't great. Mm-hmm. But this is a heady play to communicate that, pick up your new guy, drive on the route, and then on top of it, go get your hand involved in the catch point and get your teammate a pick. That was nice. That fired me up, man. I'm stoked. As you can tell, it's me saying fired up like 10 times in one clip.
Matt's fired up by this, guys.
Yeah. If I haven't mentioned this got me really excited. But yeah, see it from the
inside. Just ask you, I don't know if this is your last play, but I just want to ask you a question on that play. Do you think that if he just went for the ball that he could have did a pick six on that? Because I'm just watching that. I watched it earlier.
Let's pull it up. Maybe. I do think it is like kind of, it's similar to the way he played that like that fade where like he definitely likes to just key the hands rather than the ball. Yeah, actually might have been able to. Yeah, if he's reading Lamar where he can step in front right here, because where's the ball right where about Spillane is, I think.
Yeah, that's 6, bro. He does the right DB thing. This is a great DB play. Don't get me wrong, but man, he could have took that to the house. Because what if he dropped it and then there's no play at all, right?
Yeah, very true, very true.
So I'm just but it's great play. Great play.
It is. Hold on. I didn't want to find that clip of oh, here it is. Okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier. I forgot to mention this earlier. Watch Trevon Merrick's pass rush move on this. It's besides the point. But
oh yeah.
That's
why he got that pass rush grade. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, you get an elite grade when you can have one pass rush and the guard doesn't even touch you. That's a nice move.
I was wondering why you got that grade. All right, cool. Okay. All right, man. So yeah, that was he's still young, right? But I think he's showing growth and he's getting a lot better. And I think that's one thing that I like to see. They did play a lot of man this week, which I thought was super interesting.
They did that a lot in the. I mean, not they played. I don't have the numbers, but I feel like they played more man this week. But I feel like even in week 1 they were playing a lot more man than they had in the past, or Patrick Graham has called in the past.
Yeah, that means he really trusts those guys. I saw a number from somebody that said they're playing man 21% of the time, which is one of the tops in the NFL. So they're playing man this year. And to be honest, I'm a little worried because what you're showing on the film, there's some guys wide open because of the one play that you showed where Jakorian Bennett got beat outside. I was watching that play early this morning, and Jack Jones just got destroyed by Zay Flowers on the other side.
I didn't
and
see that.
he just gets destroyed by him on your other side. And I was like, wow, if Lamar just waited a little bit longer, he could have just took it over the top. So it does worry me a little bit because I don't know how good these guys are like that. And I don't know. All it takes is one good quarterback for them to just tear these boys up, right?
Yeah. I will say, like, this week, like I showed a few of the clips with JB, like there were some misreads from Lamar where I'm like, thank God he didn't see that, because that could have been bad. So they definitely got a little bit of that benefit, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from, where it can be risky. I mean, for sure.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are scared of Andy Dalton this week. I don't know why. I mean, Andy Dalton's gonna miss those two probably.
He's 3-0 against the Raiders.
Is that what it is?
Man. Yeah, and I was looking it up too. I mean, this will be a preview for what we're gonna do for the preview, because that's what I'm gonna look into for the Panthers game. Like, his one game last year, he threw for like 320, and Thielen had like 150.
Oh, I remember that. He did play pretty well. New offense though for him. New offense for him still.
It's fair. That's fair. But I'm like, maybe this was poor timing with the Raiders play them, because that it does worry me a little bit. But we'll see how it is. We'll see how it looks on the preview.
Yeah, you just get pressure on Andy Dalton. You get pressure on him, he'll throw some picks. So you got it's historical. We all know how that goes. But all right, so let's get into this offense. Let's check out the offense. See what we got here. All right. So we're gonna start off with the run game here. Zamir White runs basically. I was gonna show Alex Madison, but they're really pointless. Every time Madison got the ball, he got hit in the backfield. So I guess I could have showed that to show some bad blocks, but we're gonna focus on Zamir White because Zamir White is still getting the most carries, no matter how much they talk about it or how much they lie to us. He's the guy. So we're gonna see what's going on with him. So this one, this is actually, it looks like a little bit of wham in my opinion. But it's out of 13 personnel, and you see they're getting pretty good push. I mean, he's getting stood up a little bit, but there's pretty good push up front. And I think, on this type of run, he shows a little bit of patience here. And this way, you can tell he's better with, gap runs, in my opinion. I do think he should have just, been more decisive, but I think he's waiting on 84 to cross him right there. But I think if he was more decisive, he could have just got through it. But I mean, I think he does get 4 here on this one, or just, he gets about 4 yards on that one. So you kind of see what I'm talking about with these runs with Zamir White. I mean, this is how you want to use him, though. You want to get him on these type of runs so he can be decisive and get you 4 yards instead of getting you 2 or 1 yard. Because he's carrying people. He's hard to take down when he carries people all around. Let's show one more time here. All right, next one. So this one was a little bit of outside zone here again. And this is what I'm talking about, him just being like kind of just pure decisiveness. Now, I know this guy's going to tackle him 90 because they got Jacoby Myers on him, and that didn't work, right? And you kind of see there's really nothing there. I think he's reading this a little bit wrong because, I mean, the leverage of Thayer Munford is not winning that rep. But you see how he sees the cutback so late, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just not, it just didn't work for him, right? So I'll go back a little bit. You see it right here. His eyes are always on here, are always over here, are in zone, right? And this is outside zone. I'd rather him be able to kind of see the whole field right here. You got to be reading all this, because as soon as you see this leverage here and this helmet here, because I'll talk about the next play, but you see these two helmets, right? You got to cut back, right?
Yeah.
And maybe he doesn't have that ability to cut, but he already committed to it, and now he's trying to cut back too late, and it's nothing. So I'll bring it back a little bit one more time to kind of just see, like, you got to see this helmet and cut back right away, and then maybe you can break this tackle. Maybe this guy doesn't tackle you right away, but it's better than 2 yards. You're probably getting 4 or 5, right? And it's just a better yards per carry for you instead of that right there. All right, here's another one. So this one's more mid zone here with the lead. They basically turn Brock Bowers into a lead here, and you get mid zone on this one. Now, this is another one with me. Okay, so he's reading this, he's looking right here, but you see the helmet's outside, right? And you can bounce this, boom, bounce it, right? In my opinion, or you take the cut back right away here. I mean, that's the only places you can go. Now, Brock Bowers takes the dude out, boom, he helps the block, and then what that does with the bounce, once he takes out him, it would allow Michael Mayer to get up to him, in my opinion.
Especially with the receiver coming down and like crack blocking the Roquan Smith, that outside lane is open.
Yeah, for sure, dude. And you could see he just doesn't take it, right? And it's like he takes too long to read this player's helmet, because that's really what he's looking at, right? He's looking at the leverage here. You see the leverage here. This guy's inside, man. You can't go there.
Yeah.
You guys see that right away. He's just not seeing it well right now. All right, here's another one here. This one is very egregious. Ted Gwynn said that in a perfect world, but I still just it's just because the crazy thing about this play is, watch Minshew here. Watch Minshew, the fake. Watch that guy. See how he froze, right? And this is what I'm talking about, right? Maybe he sees his helmet inside, and this is what Ted Gwynn was talking about. He sees his helmet inside. He's thinking he can go here, but man, if you're just seeing the whole field, and seeing everything here, man, you just got to take this cutback. Like the best zone back, like Christian McCaffrey's taking this cutback. Josh Jacobs, I hate to say that, but to bother Raider fans, but Josh Jacobs, shit, Jordan Mason,
Shady McCoy.
Shady McCoy.
Shady McCoy's cutting back right now.
Right now, right? He's hitting that cutback right away. And it's you only get 3 yards out of it, and it could. I mean, because you think about it, right? There's Colt Miller making that block. He's hitting that cutback. It's this guy and him, and Zamir White has all this space. He doesn't even have to run towards him. Zamir White could have ran this way.
Yeah,
that's a touchdown. Boom! This is right here. Boom! Touchdown. and they're like, "Oh, Zamir White's so great." What a run block by Colt Miller. Just. I don't know. He really missed this one, in my opinion. But that's why he's just not a fit. He's not a fit for this, because you gotta have more patience. You just can't commit like that. You got to see it and then commit. You gotta have some burst. Yeah, because because like I said, he's not wrong to take this one. It's just Mumford didn't have a great block, so this is frustrating to watch. That's all. All right, here's another one. Now, this one is more power on this one. All right, more inside zone, little inside zone toss here.
Yeah.
But this plays mostly Calais Hamilton. But also, I think this plays on Thayer Munford, because Thayer Munford and Devontae Adams block the same guy.
Yeah.
And then he like chases him. Right? And then here comes Kyle Hamilton. Go ahead, Matt. What do you say?
No, you're good. You're good.
Kyle Hamilton that's not going to work. So this one's not on him, in my opinion. I think this is on Thayer Munford. This is why, I count this as a blown block, even though he didn't really block anybody. But this is a blown block. This is him. He's supposed to block somebody over here, and Devontae Adams is doing his job, and he just didn't know who to block. He didn't block a soul. So So like I said, it was a mixture of both for these guys. But because if Mumford blocks him, there's a hole here that he's about to hit. Whitehair missed his block too, but what's new right there, right? Whitehair had a good day of pass protection. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. So on this one here, this is what I'm talking about him in power, because like he just shows so much more patience here, right? See how he kind of just like he waits and stutter steps, right? Like we don't see any of this. Like he gets square here, and he allows Parham to get that block, and he gets 5 yards. Yeah, and they're asking me on the radio if they run more power, how does this work? I'm like, well, yeah, you get the down blocks here. This is it. This is the down blocks.
Yep.
Boom, get the down blocks. It's a good block from Mayer too, right there. And he's patient, waits for Parham to make his block, and then there he goes.
Blocked by Jacoby too. Myers.
I know, man. It's just crazy. It's totally different running back.
Yeah, he's just so much better when his shoulders are pointed towards the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, 100%.
His head's down instead of lateral.
All right, so the rest of this is going to be Gardner Minshew, right? So we look at Gardner Minshew. What happened in the first and second half? All right. So I really like this play call because we're getting some motion here, right? And they're playing quarters. They play quarters most of this game, quarters, cover two. They did play some man. We're going to get play action dagger, but you're going to get an outside release from Jacoby Myers, which is going to bring this safety outside, and it's going to force Kyle Hamilton to take the vertical, which is the rules. And that's what I really liked about this play. He attacks the rules here, right? So you get play action, and this play's going to frustrate you guys. Play action. This is 2nd and 17. This is just for the first drive. And we're all like, what's wrong with this offense? And just look how wide open Jacoby Myers is. And he's checking it down from this clean pocket. I mean, this is a huge play.
Let it develop.
But I just love this concept because you watch Myers release. That brings this corner outside versus quarters. Hamilton has to take the clear out, clears the whole space open for him. So yeah. So that's how I went for most of this. Let's see it from the backside. Look, you see how clean this pocket is. It's just there's just no reason. You just not want to.
Especially like with the play action design, like you have to know, like, hey, you're going to get a little bit of help or you're going to get a little more time from the play call.
Yeah, and he looks right at it. He's just like, yeah, well, you're seeing that's what happened with Gardner Minshew. So on this one, I like this one too. All right, because what we're getting is you're going to get basically kind of a slant flat. Right, because you get kind of a deeper slant flat, though it's not going to be the quick slant flat. It's going to be kind of like a skinny post from Adams, and you're going to get a kind of a quick out from Myers, but it paints the same way as dragon or slant flat or whatever you call it. So you get the motion here, right? You're getting man because of the motion here. And what you see here is there's miscommunication here. Miller's supposed to block this guy. All right. They did a simulated pressure. Basically, they act like they sent 5, but this guy drops out. But if Minshew just throws this ball on time, he has Adams, right? Boom. There's Adams right there. Sometimes I think about his arm, maybe Roquan drives on it, but even then, he could have threw this ball to Myers, right? And just kind of just feel the pressure. I ain't got nobody. I got to throw it to Myers and just get rid of it, right? Because if he just throws it at Myers' feet or anything, it's not a loss. I mean, it is 3rd down, but it's not a sack. Who knows what they should to do from there? Maybe he gets it to Myers, right? But he kind of just takes this sack because he tries to run away from it.
Yeah.
Because even if you pick this side, maybe he could hit Tucker. Maybe this guy drives on Tucker, and maybe Tucker breaks the tackle. It's just different looks he has instead of just trying to run away from this. And that's what you mean by taking a sack. If he throws the ball, if he's already throwing this ball, boom, there's Adams right there. But he's running away from the sack and he gets sacked. So you see it from this side. I mean, you can see how they got him because they're all across the line here. So I'll go back. they kind of got these guys lined up. They kind of just what's the word I'm looking for? Overload.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Right. And Miller, they both blocked the wrong guy. And I get it that's pressure. But if you could see the space, if he's already throwing this ball to Adams, you see Adams right there, and that ball's already coming. Yeah. That's a pretty big play actually, because Adams is going to be running this way if he throws a good ball, but he's running away from it. All right. So this, I said this is Brock Bowers online, but it was Harrison Bryant, so I was wrong. Right. But on this play, we're getting double digs basically, right? Which they ran a lot. They ran a lot of dig routes this week, which they didn't run the week before, mostly because these guys were running quarters so much. You're getting double digs, and then you're getting basically a quick out and a corner route. And this is the interception, right? So you see it. They switch to cover 3 because they're sending Kyle Hamilton to the end of the blitz. So it switches to cover 3, or whether I think it's fire zone, I think. And then but what you see is he looks right at Myers. This is the thing about this throw. He said, look at his eyes. He's looking right at him. Throw it to him. Throw it to him.
Yeah.
But no, I'm going to throw a duck. Like, this is one of his worst passes I've ever seen. This is a pure duck. And I don't know why he didn't throw the Myers. Like, Myers, we already could count. Myers could add 100 yards in this game. We already counted twice. And you see it from this side. You watch it, like he pump fakes. Okay, it's not there. But he looks right at it. It's right there. Maybe he can't see it. Maybe he's not tall enough to see it. I don't know. But he's right there. But then he comes back and he throws a duck. Like, I don't. And maybe because he thought it was cover 3, that guy wasn't going to be there. But man, that's a big play that just left on the field. And the Raiders. That's why you can feel like that's why the Raiders offense was able to take off in the second half. Is because of these things. All right, so let's get to the good place here. So he's gonna be hitting. He's gonna be looking at Jakorian Myers here in this curl seam here, right? Right, and we're basically getting curls in like a go route, his seam route from Devontae Adams. But you got Kyle Hamilton. He's coming on the blitz. They blitz Kyle Hamilton a lot actually, and he's like late blitzes like this one. But he does a good job of feeling it. See, he feels it on this one, and he throws it on time, and it's a good throw right there on the comeback. This is the turning point. This was the turning point of the game. This is the drive after the interception. This is the turning point. It's a great feel of the pressure coming. Makes a good throw. Like it. You can see from this side again. Got Hamilton coming open. Just moves a little bit. Nice throw. Boom. On time. All right, 3rd and 8. Here's the play to Brock Bowers here. We got out of the pocket here on 3rd and 8. Let's see. Yeah. All right. Just getting out of there, making that play. Bowers does a great job of coming back to the ball. So it looks like, I mean, it's basically all verts here. You're getting vert. You get a vert from Adams. Right. And you could say he was under a little bit of pressure, not too much, but he does. I think he did a great job of getting out of the pocket because you had to. There's really nothing there on this one. So this was like him leaving the pocket correctly, and it's just a great job by Bowers coming back to this football. Because Bowers, you see Bowers sees he's in trouble. See Bowers come back to the ball. You see that right here?
Yeah,
perfect. And he just monsters that himself there. So you see here at an empty on this side. To get 4, it's a great block from I think it's a great recovery block on Travis Jones with Parham. Just push him out right there. And this what it did, it allowed him to kind of get out of his pocket. And then he does a good job of seeing Bowers there, making the throw downfield.
And then Bowers set his feet too. Like if you remember too from the summer, that was one of my concerns with him when he throws on the run. Like he a lot of times doesn't set his feet.
Yeah.
But that time he had the time and planted and made a good throw.
Love it. All right, now this is his best throw of the game. Okay, and this is what I'm talking about, the motions here and them against quarters, right? Because now you get this 3x3 here, and they're getting they're doing double digs again, right? You kind of get a go route from, so basically it's like dagger with like two ends, right? So because you're gonna get a clear out from DJ Turner, and you get a dig from Myers and a dig from Adams, and you can see here the clear out is gonna take out these two safeties, right? And then you see Hamilton, he's about to drive on Michael Mayer, right? And then Minshew's already throwing this ball, and Adams hasn't even got out of his break. And just look out this throw right here. This is a dime. So I don't know who this guy is, to be honest. But look, he's just decisive.
That ball had a little zip on it too. A little zip for Gardner.
Right? Because maybe because he had his feet set, and he gets and he's able to step into it.
Okay.
All right.
Nice tight window throw too.
Yeah.
Roquan thought he had a pick right there, and nope.
Nice throw. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, man. He just kind of just took off. It was wild to watch. I'm not gonna lie. Just going for one half, and then some of the reads he was making. Crazy. Now this one, it was a choice route to Jakobi Myers and to Brock Bowers, right? Or Michael Mayer. So it's double choice here on this one. So you're getting choice. You can go in, you can go slant, out, hitch, go Myers, can go out, hitch, slant, and then you get two goes from the other side. And I mean, technically he probably should throw it to Myers. I mean, if we just want to be cool. You just want to play quarterback, throw it to Myers. Myers is wide open. That's fine. But he didn't like that. And you know, he was, I'm gonna make some plays. I'm balling right now. And he's like, I'm gonna throw this back shoulder dime to Adams 30 yards downfield. And that's, if you're gonna pass up an easy throw, you better do that. That's all I gotta say. If you're gonna pass up an easy throw, I need you to do this. That's what I need you to do. Yeah, because he should have threw this to Myers, and he thought about it. You can see it. He is here. Mayer's not there, and this is a good job picking up this blitz. Look at Zamir White here. Boom. Zamir White does a good job picking that up, giving him enough time to get out of this pocket. And then he sees Adams and just throws a dime right here. Look at this. That's a great throw. It still kind of died on him a little bit, but that's fine. We're not going to get on him about that. It's fine. And then this is another great throw here. And they get the one-on-one here from Adams. And a lot of, like I said, a lot of this is because these safeties, which I don't know why you would turn inside when Devontae Adams leave this guy one-on-one. I don't know. But a lot of it is because of Jakobi Myers and these guys running some of these routes and what they were doing all game. And that gave Adams a wide one-on-one. And that was just a dime right there. It was a beauty. Look at AOC, the whole sidelines hype. Watch from this side. Like I said, it's just him being decisive, like, because a lot of it with the safety too is his eyes. If you see it here, look how he holds the safety. He's looking this way. He knows he wants to go to Adams. He knows he has Adams one-on-one. If I hold the safety, I can go to him. And look, and then he's just decisive, throws the ball right on the money.
That was a drop in the bucket. Holy hell!
I know. And then Adams with the late hands. Dude had no idea the ball was coming. Nope. Yeah. Dime. And he got both feet down. Just look at JPJ.
JPJ's getting hype. We got Aiden O'Connell flexing on people. You know it's a big play when that happens.
Yeah, man. So I mean, that was just a totally different player from one half to the next. And back to run game. I think the run game, they just got to mix it up with Zamir White, get some more power runs in there, and get him more comfortable. But if Gardner Minshew could play like that, like he did in the fourth quarter and the second half of that game, if he could play like that for a whole season, I mean, I don't know. He's gonna make us look real dumb because he laid us real smart from game one for a game and a half, Matt. We were like, oh, see, this is what we're talking about all summer. And then the second half started, and it was like the throw to Adams, the anticipation and the zip. And where did that come from?
It was a dime. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it did look like two different players. I mean, I don't know what it was, if it was the pep talk from Matt Crosby or what, but he just started letting it rip, and it felt like he was trusting himself. And hey, hopefully that carries over. Hopefully that was the confidence boost, the little spark he needed to get back to playing like that. Because yeah, I mean, obviously, like you said, night and day difference between two different guys from what we saw for 6 quarters versus the last two.
Yeah, it was just crazy to watch, man, to see him kind of just be who he basically was his whole career for a half. And then the second half, it just looked like a totally different player. He looked like a guy who could throw downfield. I mean, I really show all of it, but like the throws the Bowers he was making on third down on the choice routes were on the point. He had a throw where he got hit on by Jakorian Meyer. He was getting hit by Kyle Hamilton on the game, the throw that sealed the game. For the field goal, it was getting hit and he threw it right on the money on time. Corey Myers on a dig route. It was just crazy to watch. So if he keeps playing like that, the Raiders can win they're going to win some games this year. So we'll see. We'll see if he's taking the next step in his offense and kind of trust what Getsy's doing, because Getsy's giving the looks, right? He's giving him the looks. He just got to take them, and then we started taking them. We see what happened.
Yeah.
So. He's second in the league in yards. Maybe he leads the league in yards this year. Matt, we'll see.
Yeah, that's a wild stat. He's like second in passing.
Yeah, but he hasn't even thrown 300 yards yet, which is basically how the NFL is right now. But he had two back-to-back games. I'm sure his over/under for passing yards is going to go up. It's going up, guys. It's not 201 this week. Yeah, in the run game, I like I said, they got to find something to do with Zamir White and get him going, or they got to get Madison more carries. I mean, they got to decide that. If they don't want to run power and they want to be a zone team, then they might have to go Madison, or they might have to, do something, because it's just not his game. So.
Yeah, I mean, I know Madison's decent on the inside zone, but worries me is I never was really impressed with him in outside zone either. So, but yeah, I think I was looking into it too. I did put an article on Silver and Black Pride, like the numbers too, like with the run blocking and the O lineman. Like, I mean, granted, outside of Colton Miller and Dylan Parham, like they're all still below 500, or all still below average, I should say, on their PFF grades. But like 4 out of 5 guys, their run blocking grades are better in gap runs right now than zone runs. So it meshes with the offensive line too. And the only outlier is Thayer Munford, and Thayer Munford's been bad in both.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? Like if 4 out of 5 guys are playing well and the other guys, struggling regardless, you might as well switch it up. And I think even Pierce talked about that in one of his post-game press conferences, where he's like, yeah, we got to change something up, because very clearly it's not working. So I do think that's a good sign.
You wonder if you see DJ Glaze this week. I wonder.
Maybe, because he gave a quick hook to Whitehair, and that didn't work. Pete played worse, and then. But yeah, I mean, he's talked about it. Yeah, maybe we'll see a little Glaze, maybe even some Glaze at guard. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see. All right, guys. Well, that's the episode for today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Definitely some good film from the Raiders, and I'll definitely get some membership videos up, guys. BDs will drop tomorrow. I'm going to do some membership of the passing game too as well. Kind of go over the whole game now that I got my stream back up and we look back to normal and everything's not it's switching on us, and we're good. We're back to normal here. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. And we are out of here. Peace.